What's going on, YouTube? You're back with Shades, and we're continuing our Let's Play of Katawa Shoujo. Last time we left off, we found that Shizune really does want to make Misha feel better, and it's not working at all. And Jiguro was here, and with Hideki to visit us, and to say that hey, they're going on a trip, and he wanted to know if Shizune would come. And him being an inconsiderate jackass was like, "Call me if you need me," and like he's like his daughter's not fucking deaf. Fuck him hard. Anyway, neither of them can express their feelings very well. In Shizune's case, I have to question whether she would if she could. It explains a lot, but she doesn't seem unhappy with the arrangement. Even so, I wonder if she might be. When the door closes behind them, leaving Shizune and me by ourselves, she lets out a deep breath that seems to echo in the silence of the room. It's totally ridiculous asking me to go on a trip. The timing couldn't be worse. It overlaps the student council elections for one. Second, I haven't even cheered up Misha. If you consider that, it's annoying to even have anything else to think about. Excuse me, guys. I just let out a lot of gas. Yeah, but you might be too focused on all that stuff right now. Shizune adjusts her glasses roughly. Completely 100% right. The minute I decided I was going to cheer up Misha, everything else went back to the back burner, I suppose. I think your dad might care about you more than he lets on. I know. So then it could be a good idea. No. And then again, more firmly as if for both of us. No. After coming this far, I can't take a break. A vacation would be jarring. It would be like waking up in a different life. Yesterday was like my vacation, so now we have to go all in. I'm sorry, but that's just how I am. I remember what Yuko said, that she found Shizune brave in a kind of way. I think I can understand what she meant, and I have to agree, even though it could be called recklessness and foolishness and pointless stubbornness. I guess you could call it bravery, too. However, I can see that there's a fundamental flaw in Shizune's thinking that I hadn't noticed until now. I'm sure that Shizune has reflected longer and more arduously than I could about where she messed up to create such a bad situation between her and Misha. However, as typical for her, she wouldn't let it hold her back and immediately set out to fix the problem. This completely ignores a large part of the problem, Misha herself. Moving from a central introspection to holding Misha up as part of a goal causes a person to get lost in the shuffle. Shizune has said a lot in the past few days, but nothing about how Misha feels. Shizune's ways of thinking is abnormal. Few normal people would reject a friend and then expect things to go back to the way things were so easily. God, do I know that feeling. Shizune does because she sees life Shizune does because she sees life as, if I had to put it simply, capable of being segmented and compartmentalized. That is a hard word to say. There's what? 1, 2, compartmentalize. 5 syllables. Wow, that is a long ass word. Hold on, my headphones are acting up again. Fucking stay behind my ear. Stay behind my fucking ear. God. Oh my. Now the headphone popped out. Oh my god. Okay. Misha, like anyone else, sees it as a whole experience, a long, continuous journey where one moment of heartache can follow you forever. Ain't that the truth? For Shizune, an event is an event, and a few of them can cross over. Life is compartmentalized around triumphs, failures, and decisions, where each one stands as its own story. It's why the thought of vacation is jarring to her. It's why she can only appreciate people's immediate emotions. It's exactly how someone obsessed with living in the moment would think, really. Likewise, Shizune could see Misha as a friend, but I doubt that she's ever thought of Misha as anything more until recently, or questioned anything about her. Misha is Misha, would be enough for her, even if to Misha it must be unbelievably stifling. Shizune is just Shizune to herself. It's likely she doesn't even think about the after effects of her actions in the long term, as long as they stir up other people's lives. To Misha, though, I'm sure it made her seem almost heroic, like Yuko admiring her bravery, and even myself. Oh, god damn. Hang on, guys. And Shizune's thoughts on that sentiment are that it was good that she could touch someone's life, but it ends there. It's easy to captivate, much harder to nurture. On to the next thing. Thinking of life in terms of almost completely isolated events has a tendency to isolate a person, too. Though she could try to remedy it now, the point remains. There is simply no way Shizune could have avoided hurting Misha. Her emotional investment in Shizune was something Shizune couldn't account for, so she didn't. Combined with her personality, it was inevitable. Both of them have pretty much told me all of this in bits and pieces over the past couple of months I've known them. In the middle of considering their differences, an idea begins to take shape in my mind. Are you working on your plan right now? This second? Your cheer up Misha plan? Of course, I was thinking about it the whole time I was being yelled at. Flicking her glasses up the bridge of her nose with an oddly triumphant air, she taps her finger against her temple. It's multitasking. Really, isn't it more like you're able to concentrate on something like that because you can't hear? Well, whatever. When I ask her what she thinks of mine, it turns out we've both arrived to a similar idea. Excuse me. Well, that was 2 quick wipes. Although it makes me feel kind of uneasy since we're talking about a human being, the first step is to corner Misha. Damn it, I turned off the music again. Though the situation is a little too much like something out of a cop drama for me, it's come to this because talking to her normally is proving to be near impossible. But we do have classes together, even the very first class of the day. Although it takes a while for the announcement to come, the second night that I hear that we're going to be working in groups today, she's going to make sure Misha is in ours. Woo. You know, I think Muto assigns a suspiciously large amount of group work and self-study, don't you think? But it's easy, so it's okay, right? Yeah, there's other stuff that I've been thinking about lately that might not be okay, though. Misha nods after each sentence, then brushes it all aside. I thought about it, and I don't do enough work when I work with you and Shichan, so I'm gonna try harder today. So, don't distract me, Hichan, I have to stay focused. That was annoyingly transparent dodge. Shichan doesn't look too happy either, since Misha didn't bother to sign any of it, opting to twirl a pen in her hands instead. From the shaky way she was doing it, I'm sure it was so she wouldn't sign anything inadvertently. From the way Misha looks, distracted and uneasy, I doubt it's because she wants to keep Shizne out of the loop for any malicious reason, although it's still obviously a way of distancing Shizne from herself. Shizne wants to talk to you. Can I wait till later, Hichan? No. Why not now? We're in the middle of class. Now she's spinning a pen in each hand. I'm beginning to think her signing has turned into a kind of nervous tic for her. This isn't a good replacement, although the sight of her dual wielding is pretty impressive. After class, then? After class, I don't wait a second to bringing it back up. As everyone else files out of the classroom, leaving the three of us alone, Misha takes increasingly longer glances in every direction except forward. Do you want to get something to eat? Why do you and Shisha keep asking me if I want to eat something, Hichan? Because we're all headed to the cafeteria and we haven't eaten together in a long time, so why not? Is this about student council? Taking Shizune's lack of a reply as admission, Misha sighs. Shichan, is that all you ever think about? Before Shizune can reply, she leaves. I have to say I'm not left feeling very confident after what just happened. Ew. Neither of us were expecting it to go smoothly, but it would have been nice. Reading my mind, Shizune curls a finger around her glasses for a while before signing. I know what you're thinking, but no, it's not that I think we should give her some space now. I told you I wouldn't give up so easily. Yeah, well, now I'm starting to wonder if it's not too soon. Cold feet? Well, I'm not going to. That would be giving up on her. There's a fine line between helping someone and smothering them, but I just want Misha to pull herself together and stop acting so weird. Excuse me. Jesus. I know she can do it, even if she wants to try. People don't change overnight. Even if they could, the world would be a much easier place. Okay, you win. Then I guess this is the part where we split up and look for her. Though I'm the only one who's really supposed to find her. If I run into her first, I'll call your cell phone. Smiling, Shizune takes out her cell phone, turning it on to prepare. I notice that she has an extremely high number of unread messages, and looking at her expression, so does she. Twirling it around by the strap a couple times, she grimaces. I don't like using this thing. Why can't I just snap my fingers? And then what? I'm not a dog, and it doesn't travel as far as a phone signal. You're having a lot of fun with this, aren't you? Shaking her head from side to side, she continues. It's obvious where she will go. You can't look for her on the school grounds. She would want to go as far away as she can. Check the tea shop. It's usually empty this early. Misha loves to go there if she's feeling like skipping a class, and she loves the parfaits they have there. You really know a lot about her, but she would overthink it and turn into something that would seem more backhanded than it actually is. So I choose to just nod and leave instead, until I feel her holding onto my sleeve. What? I say instinctively, forgetting she can't hear me. It feels nice that I don't have to do it all by myself anymore, because I can trust you. I'm really happy. Oops. Whoa, hey, hold on. It feels nice that I don't have to do it. I'm really happy. Okay, never mind. Heading outside, I catch a glimpse of pink hair behind some other girl's head, and as I head that way, I realize that isn't the way to go if you want to leave school. It's the way to the student council room. If I wanted to avoid Shizune, I wouldn't head there. It's strange that Misha would be going in that direction then. Maybe she wants to talk things over with Shizune. In which case, I have to wonder if letting things play out naturally would be such a bad idea after all, especially if it seems like it's going to be going in a good direction. Suddenly Misha stops and spins around, catching me by surprise. Surprise, Hee-chan! Were you looking for me? I had a feeling. I was going to say, hey, I was just looking for you, but I suppose that's no good now. She hasn't even finished with her sentence before she blows past me, heading for the exit. I have to admit that Misha is infuriatingly sharper than I'd expected, also surprisingly fast. Although it's more physical activity than I think I should be getting, I managed to catch up to her halfway to the gate. You're really being the rudest woman in the world right now. Can you just stop trying to run away for 1 second? I want to talk to you. Misha turns on her heel, looking mildly amused, and raises her hand as if to tell me go on. Now that I have her attention, though, it's hard thinking of the right thing to say. Where are you going? To Shanghai. Can I go with you, then? Waiting for an answer feels like an eternity. It's almost as if I can hear my wristwatch ticking off the individual seconds. Okay, then, Hee-chan. I get the sense that she only agreed because she doesn't want to argue anymore today. Oh god, this is awkward. When we get there, a couple comes in after us, causing Misha to jump slightly at the noise. Seeing that it isn't Shizune, she relaxes again, smiling almost as usual to order parfait from Yuko, and sliding into the nearest booth. You run off too fast. You could have at least waited to see what she was going to say. Misha's angry reaction tells me that it could be she was afraid of what Shizune might say. Why are you both doing this, Hee-chan? Because Shizune still wants to be your friend, and I guess it's for her to... Again, and I guess it's for her, it's kind of like launching a nuclear missile from a submarine. You need 2 keys to do it. What else can she do, though? She isn't automatically signing whatever she hears or says more, and I'm sure that it is the reason Shizune has been having so much trouble with her. If she tried to talk it over with you, you wouldn't listen. Misha's guilty expression tells me I've hit the mark. Do you really hate Shizune that much? No, Hee-chan, I told you that. She answers without even flinching, idly playing with a spoon. I'm guessing her nervous tics are just like do something with her hands, which is why sign is perfect for her. I mean, I'm the same way where I like gesticulating. I like moving my hands when I get really excited. But I have learned sign a little bit. And unfortunately, it has entered my mannerisms. Like when I'm like okay, I sign letters okay, and then I'm like what, and then the sign for what is basically putting your hands side to side, palms facing up, and I'm just like what, or the exclamation of what going from W to T, and I'm just like what, yeah, it goes into my mannerism, and it's really cool for me. What the hell's with the door out there? Yeah, I know. I'm sure she knows it too, but I wonder if it might be easier if you did. The only thing she's really thought about for the last week is how to make you happy, since she's still attached to you. Yesterday, though, she thought that it might be easiest for you if you just hated her. Since you didn't tell her you hate her, Shizune thinks that you both can still be friends. She's like that, only thinking in extremes. Her parfait is starting to melt, the ingredients coming together in tiny rivers that remind me of the growing roots of a tree being shown through time-lapse photography. That's stupid. Shi-chan isn't that stupid, Shi-chan. Don't be ridiculous. It's got nothing to do with intelligence. Smart people can do stupid things in any way. Isn't it true? I was terrified last week when we talked, but at the end, I was relieved because it sounded like things might go back to normal. I wasn't expecting you to have a fight right after. It wasn't a fight, Shi-chan. It was just me yelling at her. I've noticed that Misha's voice never really changes in tone, just volume. It's so low with guilt that I can hardly believe it came from her. Either way, I was happy because I thought you and her could still be friends, since she needs you. No, she doesn't, Hee-chan. So, how do you know that? There's a lot of things Shizune doesn't. Vocalize, say, talk about. I'm afraid if I say the wrong thing, it'll ruin the mood. I get to finally having a conversation with her, and I don't want to screw it up. I wonder if this is the first time she's had an honest conversation with me. Just because she didn't tell you doesn't mean she doesn't like you. That doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Otherwise, she would argue back. You don't think so? She picks fights with everyone, and so why not you? Obviously because you're her friend and she values you, and Shizune is hurt too. She's just awful at showing her feelings. Usually does it the wrong way too. But she still likes you. Hichan, do you remember when I said I didn't want to hate Shizune or upset her? The truth is, I ended up doing both. Now it's like there's like an awkwardness between us. It's hard to explain. Ooh, I get this. I get this a lot. I understand this. I understand this to my core. I honestly hate that when like that one bit of information that becomes a mutual understanding between two people suddenly changes the relationship to the point where how do we move on from here? It sucks. Both of you are so stubborn. You were talking about how you didn't want to drift apart from Shizune, but then you're going to let it happen. And Shizune is just as bad. She wants to be your friend, but respects you too much to be as aggressive as she'd be with anyone else. But I'm sure that Misha interprets Shizune giving her a lot of space as a lack of caring. I screwed up already, Hichan. It'll happen again, I'm sure. When I think about it that way, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It feels like either way, I'll end up making things worse. Then it might be better if I didn't do anything at all, right? Don't be ridiculous. Why would you even think that way in the first place? Be more positive. It should be easy for you, I want to say, but that would be presumptuous. Hichan, I never knew you were so optimistic. I never expected that. Meh. You always act so gloomy when I try and surprise you. No, this is a recent thing. Really, I just hate it when people give up easily now. Haha. Now, huh? It makes me mad when people give up. I used to think that giving up was kind of like running away, since that's how people always describe it, but now I think about it, it's usually more like throwing something away. When you run away from something, you can just think about it, you can think of it as still being there. So I was in the hospital, and I didn't want to run away from my problems. I wanted to never think about them again. Misha eats a spoonful of her gray ice cream goo. Did she only just remember it was there, or could it be she likes it that way? Personally, I do like it when ice cream is melted. It's nice. It's easier to eat, too. Anyway, my point is, you can't do that. People are too sentimental to just throw away their memories out like that. It's impossible. Shizune can't think of life in terms of anything but winning and losing. And don't you think she wishes she didn't have to remember the parts where she loses? You can't pick and choose, though. It's like wanting to live in a bubble. The worst part is, your way of thinking is so wasteful. It makes you so pessimistic you're afraid of everything. Come on. I grab her hand as I wave Yuko over to pay for our food. Where are we going now? Back to school before lunch is over, but I want to check out a few places before then. I have 2 minutes left, but I'm not sure if I should end it here. No, I'll keep going. Although I start feeling tired after doing what could be described as a level of a brisk jog at best, Misha and I eventually make it back to the gate of our school with a little over 10 minutes to spare. I didn't even want to come to this school, you know. I didn't have a choice. When I got to this gate, I was sure a part of me was thinking, what a depressing place. It doesn't look depressing at all, though. Well, I still thought I had everything figured out. I felt practically like another person. If I could, I'd go back and tell myself to stop thinking he can write everything off at a glance, and acting like his life is already over, and he can never have fun again. The school grounds are still littered with quite a few people. It's lunchtime, so it's typical. This is where you and Shizune had me helping you put together 2 festivals, with a lot of hard work. I thought, I don't have time for this. When I look back on it, though, I didn't do all that much. I also didn't have anything better to do. I'd have just spent the time alone. I drag her to our homeroom next, which is empty except for Muto trying to eat a sandwich before class resumes. Every time I thought of either of you, I wished you would leave me alone, whether it was here or... Leaving Muto to his lunch, we headed for the nearby vending machine, and I grabbed a soda, while I still have 5 minutes to drink it. I've spent the entire lunch period with Misha, longer than both Shizune and I have managed to find to talk to her in days. Following me to the cafeteria or trying to corner me after half my classes. I never realized that we only talked like 4 times, and it was really all in my head. I only barely realized it now. I remember that, Hichan, but I know where all these places are too. Wait, let me finish my guided tour since we're running out of time. By the way, do you want a soda? Making our way to the stairwell, I'm glad I don't have to pull her by the hand anymore. You get dizzy on stairs, right? Yeah. Well, I guess this just here is good enough then. I lean against the wall as Misha sits down on the steps across from me. Do you ever miss the people you went to school with in elementary school or middle school? No. That was fast. She didn't even have to think about it. I find myself cringing reflexively. I have a couple seconds, but I'm gonna let this conversation end, and then I'm gonna end it. I had more friends in my old school, but I don't talk to them anymore. It almost feels like that was another lifetime ago, which is sad, really. Sometimes I want to talk to them again, but I know I can't. I'm scared and embarrassed, things like that. They're too far away for me to go see them, then I think about calling them, and I don't know most of their numbers. And I left on a sour note, so why would they want to see me again? It feels like that I should just forget about it, but I still think about it anyway. Regret that I didn't try harder to stay in touch somehow. And I start to think about maybe those feelings like I should forget about, and I start to think that maybe feeling that I should forget about it is wrong. It would be an insult to all those people I had fun with and wasted all the good times. Like I said before, even if there are some bad memories too, it's alright if you can look back on them as happy memories. But I didn't even think about it then. Still, so it was like I woke up one day and realized I had no friends. I just let myself lose all my friends and it felt awful. I'd really hate it if you and Shizune ended up the same way. That's all. That's all? It makes me sad to think that you'll do the same thing and push away your friend, especially because you're not far away from Shizune. I mean, you even live in the same dorm. Friend. Aren't you my friend too, Hee-chan? Yeah. You slept through all of it, but the fireworks were really nice way back at the festival. My first time seeing fireworks like that, and my first time really seeing the sky in a while, and I'd never looked at the stars before then either. I thumbed through a book about them while I was in the hospital, though, and I learned a lot. Like, the stars aren't just burning, they're more like a constant chain of explosions, so far away that some of the stars I'd be seeing would have been burned out for thousands of years already. It's like that their light would only just be reaching Earth. I saw a mock-up comparing the size of planets to our sun, and then that to other suns, Japan wasn't even visible to the tiniest Earth, on the tiny Earth in that book. You know what I never realized? She looks at me expectantly. They're amazingly shiny. It's true. Why are you doing this, Hee-chan? Doing what? I'm not stupid. I don't know. Bunch of reasons. Because you're Shizune's friend, and I liked how close you were, and maybe I'm trying to tell you that we all have our low points, but giving up is stupid. Anyway, it seems worth the trouble. That's the only reason? And you're my friend. That's it? Can I do something for no reason? You can, but I want to know. Well, what else do you want to hear? The bell rings before Misha can reply, so she ends up laughing instead. I think that's a good place to end it for now. It's a bit of a cliffhanger. It's a bit of an awkward spot, but I don't want to go too over my 20-minute mark. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me or from the series, hit the subscribe button. And you're not exiting the Shadyverse. My name is Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed your day in the shade. See you guys tomorrow.